CEO of GoEasyLive. Philip, when we do YouTube and we do Facebook, there's about a minute delay. As you know, you're an expert in this industry, so let's give people a little bit of time. I'll just play with my pan tilt zoom camera, zoom myself in a little. Tell me a little bit about where you come from. I mean, you came out of right field here. Most people have no idea who you are. I had never heard of you. My engineer, who figures out everything, found out about you somehow. What is going on? Where did you come from?
So basically, we started in France. So we are a French company. So we started 4 years ago. We started with the betting industry, basically. So our first customers, we used to run a video production company. And we switched the business model to provide a cloud software to our customers because betting started to be regulated in Europe. You know, we love regulate stuff. And so they wanted to have an automated software where they can remotely pilot everything with no human force on site. So this is how that software came, and it works pretty well. So we started to implement it with other brands in other verticals. And we had a very nice fundraising like 2 years ago. So we started to invest in the US, and we signed a very good contract pretty quickly. So we saw there was a lot of traction. US is the main place to be for live streaming. So that's why we keep on investing a lot. We open an entity in San Francisco. We are increasing our customer base more and more. That's why I moved permanently to the US also.
You're moving to New York, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm in New York right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Stay on the East Coast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so you guys are your real guys. You're expert programmers. You came up from the betting industry in Europe. You're like the Peaky Blinders. I love it. So, what do you think people are asking in the chat room? Just take a guess.
I don't know. I guess it would be
come
pricing,
on, this is easy. Pricing. They want it. We're in America. We're in America here. We want it. We don't care what it is. How much does it cost? That's what the first question in America anyone's going to ask you. How much does this thing cost?
So it's very easy. So we have different packages for customers. It's a mix between an access fee to the platform and then a cost per minute. You only get charged when you start spinning a virtual instance. So basically, when you use the platform just to set up things, you don't get charged. Okay. When we start receiving a feed from you and we start charging, and when you stop it, we stop charging. That's very easy. It's a fair usage. So basically, the monthly plan starts at $39 per month. So it's not that much. And you can pay per month or pay per year. It's up to you. You get a discount if you pay the 12 months. You get like 2 months off. And then the cost per minute is like 15 cents. So 15 cents per minute.
Now that sounds good. Okay, because I remember talking to you a couple months ago, and I think the pricing was a little out of whack. You got to price this as if you're Google. You know, you're like everyone and their mother's going to use this if you price it right. So $39 a month, that's perfect. I bet you it's something like $3.99 for a year and 15 cents a minute. It's like making a phone call, you know, back in the day. That's perfect. I am not offended by that at all. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Somebody in the chat room respond to this. And Canada too, Mike's saying. Yes, you're in North America here. We're streaming in North America. We want to know what the price is. That's like the first thing, you know. How much does it cost? I went to a mosque in Morocco, and they showed us the whole mosque. It was beautiful. And they're like, does anyone have any questions? And we're all Americans. How much did it cost to build this damn thing? That all you care about? Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, I am just blown away. I'm shivering a little bit because this is what I've been asking everyone to do. And here's what happens in the real world. You get platforms out there that are built to be on Windows or Mac. And that's the only path forward they have. They're not ready to rip down and start over on the cloud. But if your pricing is competitive enough and you're giving people the thing that you're going to need to really work on is probably like tutorials, getting outreach, making sure it's super easy. If you make it easy enough, people will pay a little extra. Plus, you're giving them the added benefit of not having to pay anything up front, really. You're giving them that cloud-based subscription model where it's like $39, 15 cents a minute. That seems. I think that is the magic number, unless some competitors come out. But I haven't seen anybody doing what you're doing. The only people close is Joycaster, but they're not doing any video production. They're just redistributing, which is going to make you guys are going to make them look. You're going to probably, because you're doing what they're doing plus a ton more. And then Teradek Core. They've got the hardware play. They've got really good distribution. They're a well-known company. Their product serves their market, and they've said they may talk about it, but I guarantee they're not going to go as far as you're going. You've built from the bottom up a cloud-based product that's a cloud-based product. The companies that did that, like Zoom, or versus, Cisco's Spark thing that they've got going on, they started as a hardware company and had so much difficulty culturally saying, we need to go to the cloud. That's the future. And I'm seeing the same thing happening. I could be wrong, but Event Stream TV is saying it's a cheap price. And Event Stream TV, I'd like to ask you and anyone else out there, one of the things that I've been thinking about is streaming as a service. For a lot of our customers are audiovisual integrators. So they add value to products and services. They buy our cameras, they install them in different places. And we're always looking for additional services that we can charge for to make our companies more profitable. And one thing you could do is you could tell people, we'll help you live stream your events for you. And with your service and our cameras should be able to stream directly to GoEasyLive. So you put the camera in, you turn it on, you plug in the Ethernet, hit the stream button, and literally you just manage everything in the cloud for your customers.
That's actually a big thing, because we've seen some competition around the world basically trying to do like cloud-based services. And most of the time what they do is they have a client that you need to download on your computer, either like on a PC or an OS. So they keep the engine on your local computer and you just manage it in the cloud. And the issue with that is not only you still depend on a local computer, but basically you are attached to their service. You cannot use another kind of inputs. And the great added value of EasyLive is we are input agnostic. We don't care whether you use XSplit, Elemental, vMix. We work with all those guys. Yep. We got certified by Akamai, we are certified by Elemental, and most of our customers, they use all those solutions. So we are really like input agnostic. So we saw that when we used to run video production company, when we used to run a video production company, we had one day like a technical issue. We were running, I think it was Flash Media Encoder like 10 years ago, and my computer crashed, like the hard drive just crashed. And so it was done. And I was like, okay, the only thing I have left, it's a Teradek video. So I had to switch from my computer to a Teradek video, but so all my graphics were done. I was able to push the content, but without anything. So this is why we decided to move everything that it's non-mandatory to be at the venue in the cloud.
Wow. And that's the way to do it too, because now you're not necessarily a competitor to WireCast, vMix, OBS, and you are input agnostic. That is the key word here. You are non-proprietary in a way, and that's what Zoom did, and that's what GoToMeeting and WebEx did when Polycom and Cisco were the kings of video conferencing, and they had their own hardware, and you had to use their hardware. And then Zoom and Skype and GoToMeeting, all these guys said, use a webcam, use whatever you want. Yeah. And they started eating everybody's lunch, and I keep drawing connections to that. I don't think we're quite at that breaking tipping point, but it happened in the video conferencing industry in a very multi-billion-dollar way. It will happen to the video production industry. And that means serious change is about to come. A couple more questions here. Mr. Davis is asking, does the platform offer an on-demand service at all? Do you do any hosting of videos, or is it just streaming?
Not at all. We basically stand in between the local production and the publisher. We never interact with the final audience. So once you go through your live stream, we do some recordings for you. So we record the entire event. We provide the highlights, so the clippings and the DVR, and we store that for you up to 24 hours. So it's just enough time for you to download it or publish it. But then we don't host anything. It's not the aim of the company. We don't want to compete with, we're not live stream, we're not Facebook. We provide content to those platforms. And so we don't want to mix business with those guys.
Got it. Okay, makes a lot of sense. Here's a question: if they don't want to use Facebook or YouTube, and do you have an agreement with the CDN that they can use, or do you just allow them to use a unique RTSP?
No, they can publish. We are input agnostic and output agnostic. They can publish wherever they want. So we have like OAuth through the API with Facebook Live because we are an official Facebook Live partner. We have the same with YouTube, with Dailymotion, with Twitch, etc., etc. But you can publish to any RTMP server in the world. We have entry point everywhere in the world. We are hosted on AWS. You can publish everywhere in the world. So you can publish on Akamai, to Woza, where you want. You decide. Beautiful. You pay as a customer, so you decide where you want to publish it.
I'm loving everything I hear. Event Stream TV is reminding me of a very good question I need to ask you. Is there any way we could ever build in pan-tilt zoom control for our cameras?
It could be. It could be. Right now, we don't do like custom development. We are improving things like next year, we will be releasing a full API to our service. So maybe through an HTML page, you could like pilot your camera and do things with our service, but it will be your role basically to develop that interaction. So through the API, it could be something that you will be able
I appreciate that because I want to be on board in the beginning with your new APIs. That's a great way. You know, all the companies that have APIs now, we also have open source control software, so I think we're very like-minded companies. Just to answer your question, though, Event Live, remote camera control from us is actually quite easy. There's definitely ways to do it. There's a good bit of ways to do it, and we shouldn't have any issues getting into the network control of the cameras. It's pretty easy. A couple other questions here. Let me just refresh this page. Looks like with the cloud, I have to upload as many streams as I have PTZOptics cameras. For example, 3 cams, 3 upload streams, 3 times the bandwidth. I'm not sure why you would have to do that. Oh, that's a good point. What if they have multiple cameras?
So, if you have multiple cameras, our recommendation is to pilot the switching on site. So you use either the software you can provide, or you can use WireCast or whatever solution you want. But basically, locally, you just do switching from one camera to another one and encoding. And you publish that out, and we take care of the rest. We can do like chats, just like we do right now. So we use exactly the same solution as you. Some of our customers, they use Skype or Zoom or whatever solution, and you adjust that as an input or through an OBS encoder and publish that. So that's usually the trick they use.
So that's when I bring this up here. You know, we're still using an encoder of some sort.
Yeah.
Got it.
But in input, basically, we work with pull and push mode. So it depends basically on the kind of project you have, you see. But right now, you need an encoder in any case, locally.
Do you have a WebRTC data channel?
No.
Okay.
We don't provide a customer, but if you have like a WebRTC encoder, you can publish to our end.
Rudolph the Red Nose is asking what we're talking about. Basically, Event Stream TV is saying that if he's got 3 cameras, 3 PTZOptics cameras, he streams them all to GoEasyLive. That's 3 times the bandwidth of a single stream. So what Philippe is suggesting is that you still use an encoder, whether it be OBS or WireCast or vMix, have the switching done there, and send a single stream. I'm actually now sending 2 streams, one to Facebook, one to YouTube.
Just one example for that. Actually, it depends what you want to do. So let's say you're live streaming a football game, and you use 3 cameras. You need to be frame accurate, because when you are switching from one camera to another one, you need to have like something very smooth. And the issue is RTMP is not frame accurate, especially when you want to compare 2 feeds. So that's one of the issues. It's not due to EasyLive or another competitor. It's just RTMP is not the right protocol basically to do like frame accuracy. So this is why if you want to do something like frame accurate, like a chat or anything like this, it's better to do it locally. If you want to do, like, I don't know, you have in your city, another one in Paris, another one in Tokyo, and you say, okay, just go and see Paul, just go and see Philippe, just go and see John. In this case, you don't care because you don't need to be frame accurate. So you could publish a feed from Paris to our end, a feed from Tokyo to our end, a feed from the US to our end, and you could mix that. So it really depends the kind of project that you have, basically. But if you want to be frame accurate, it's better to do it locally.